Sky Squad, we are back in the building. Happy Monday to all my people in the land out there, baby. Happy Monday to you. Are y'all ready for these wild accusations that's going on down into the Blue Ridge, down into the Georgia? Okay. Are you ready to discuss the allegations that Anila and Karen then allegedly staged a burglary? Let me know in the chatterization right this second. Do you believe that Anila and Karen staged all this for a storyline? For the insurance squad states? Let me know in the chat. Okay. And while we doing that, we gotta welcome our people into the room, baby. We got Los Angeles in the building, Columbia, South Carolina. Who else is up in here? See, Houston. Listen, okay. B Moore's in the building, Arkansas, Mississippi, Detroit. I see you. Virgin Islands, I see you. California, San Antonio. Who else? Who else? Who else? K, Texas. I see y'all. What y'all thinking? Oh, UK is in the building. UK is in the chat. Toronto, Canada, Golden Isles, Minneapolis, Jamaica, Maryland, North Carolina. I see you. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Albany, Nashville. That's right, baby. Dallas, Texas. JL believes it. Is it JL or JI? I can't tell. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe that Anila is going to stage the burglary. Maybe it's because I don't want to believe it. You know what I'm saying? When these people is telling me that they are being burgled, okay, in my mind, that's like lying about being sick. Y'all ever heard anybody tell y'all to never lie about being sick? Because you will inevitably get sick. I've always heard that. That's why when I was in school, I wouldn't take the sick day unless I was just going to be out. I was just going to be out of school. Okay. It's very difficult for me to say I'm sick and I'm not sick because my belief system is set up such that I will get sick. So for me, in my mind, and maybe this is my rational mind, somebody tell me that they got burgled, I'm going to believe them. Because why would you lie about being burgled when my belief system says that if you lie, it's going to happen to you? Okay? Did somebody say it was Miss Gomez? That's how she came back. I'm joking. I'm joking. I am joking. That lady is not a thief. Okay. That lady is not a thief. But I tell you what I do believe is a storyline. That whole thing with Miss Gomez feel like a storyline to me. How is it that all of a sudden, okay, all of a sudden, y'all just able to get this woman to come back? You couldn't get her to stay, but you could all of a sudden get her to come back. What did you say to her? Y'all, they didn't tell us that. Nobody told us what they said. All they said was, we will give her whatever she wants. What did she want? And what did you give her? Okay. Because at the time it was, I am leaving to go be with my family. My family is in Texas. Now it is, she left for personal reasons. We called her up. We called 1-800 Miss Gomez in Texas. Miss Gomez, we will give you blank because we don't know what it was. And we will give you a room in the house. Well, where was she staying at before? If the lady was staying in the house, where was she staying at? Was she on the streets? Did she have her own little place down the street? Like, where was she at before? Okay, because I gotta wonder. Let's put 3 and 3 together. Walk with me. If Miss Gomez could pack up her bags, move herself down to the Texas, that must mean that she was either able to, one, break her lease, or her lease had ended on her apartment or whatever she had, or she sold her home. Because when she comes back, if she's able to just easily move in with them, like, it just seems to me like something is fishy with this whole situation. It just seems too convenient. It seemed like a storyline. Then all of a sudden, your mom's just not there. I mean, it was just like, boom, your mom, you told your mama, I can't do this. Boom, mama's not there. We want Miss Gomez back. Boom, Miss Gomez is back in the flesh. How does that work? It just don't seem, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody said, please interview her. Maybe I should, because I don't know. Because I got questions about this blogging. I got questions about Miss Gomez. All right. Bruce says, it goes to show Anila is willing to bite the hand that fed her. Ain't Toya the one that brought her to the show and around this group of ladies laughing my A off? I almost said the word. At 1-800 Miss Gomez, you shady as heck, Rich. I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. Okay. I'm just trying to figure it out. Somebody said, oh, LaToya says, I think she lived in a small place in Atlanta. Perhaps. Perhaps. Okay. Lady V says, I didn't like the fact that she felt some type of way about them questioning if it could be staged, but she was quick to assume Toya had something to do with it. Yeah, see, I don't like that either. Okay? I don't like that either. Because number one, I ain't believe Toya staged the robbery. That sounds like that's some real criminal mastermind stuff. Okay? And Toya don't seem like she got enough time from shopping and playing tennis and soaking in the bathtub to organize and call 1-800 burglary and find a burglar. I don't see it happening. Okay. But the burglary did occur when Miss Gomez was not on her watch. Okay. Would the burglary have happened if Miss Gomez was there? That's a good question that I'm asking myself right now. Okay. Maybe they should have kept Miss Gomez there. Said whatever they needed to say to her when they said it to her later on to keep her there. Melinda says Anila's mom wasn't there because they stole her mama too. Well, then I would have thought Anila staged it, okay? Because she was tired of her mama. All right. Meanwhile, let's rate the episode because we forgot to do that. Okay. Let's rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this episode, I'm gonna give it a 9, an 8 point. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Okay. There was a scene where the ladies were talking about how the friendship group is fractured. And was it me, okay, or did we get a flashback of a scene with Dr. Heavenly and Carrie Wells throwing drinks at each other from, was it a couple, I couldn't it flashed on the screen so quick and I was taking notes, so I couldn't tell if it was from a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, or a couple of years ago. But I said to myself, if Carrie and Dr. Heavenly, or Carrie and anybody, is throwing drinks, why didn't y'all show it? Lisa Marie says, I said the same thing. It said 3 months ago. So if it was 3 months ago, that was this season, it would have occurred during this season. Why didn't we see that happen? So I got to take a point off for that because it didn't make sense to me. I'm like, it had to be right. It did have to be Anila's housewoman because, but again, we didn't see it. Why would y'all take that out and then show us in a flashback as this? Because here's the thing. It's like, oh my God, the friendship group is broken. So it's broken, and we know it's broken. But in order to emphasize that, Married to Medicine producers, you will then show us brokenness that we did not see during the season that we needed to. Did you forget that it happened? I mean, somebody needs to go back in because I gotta call it like a thing. The producers, y'all ain't producing. How do you leave that whole thing out? Because otherwise, Carrie ain't had nothing else to do. And again, you could have kept in Lisa Marie Nicole for all that. Anyway, so I had to take away points for that. And I did feel like this episode was more of a build-up to the ultimate Toya and Anila confrontation that we're obviously going to get next week. Okay. Francine says, interesting how she said her kids is traumatized by the burglar, but was she there or did she tell her? And if she did, why would you tell your kid? Weird. It's a good question. I don't know. And are Quad and Toya beefing? If so, it's a very like indirect beef that we're getting here. Okay. So I'm just it's some holes, it's some gaps in the story. So that's something that we need to address right off the rip. Now, let's dive into the meat and potatoes of this episode. All right, Quad stops by Anila's house. Anila has now installed wind chimes. I understand, Anila, you is worried, you is stressed about the potential of being burgled again. But the burglary happened when you wasn't there. So these wind chimes that go off every time somebody takes a step in your house, I don't know that that's going to help. Okay. Now, what would likely help is leaving the alarm turned on. Now, we've all been guilty of it. Okay. Leaving the house, forgetting to turn the alarm on, or thinking to yourself, it's okay. I locked the doors. But people are crazy. And so if you got an alarm system, use it, especially because your house has been featured on a national television show and you have been uber open about what the inside of your home looks like. All the furnishings, all 500 $2,000 worth of furniture that you allegedly got from the blog that I don't see. Okay? Now, the thing that I did like about Anila in this episode was her blue. Was it blue? In the confessional. You look great there. Okay? That was a good look. I liked it. Keep it up. Okay? You should blog about your looks. You should be blogging about all of your interview looks. You should be blogging it. I should know what you're wearing, what the earrings are, what shades of makeup you used. I should know all of those things. Links should be in the description. Every look should have a YouTube video, and you should be showing off the look. Links in the descriptions for your Like It to Know It or whatever account that they use, that all the people use. Okay, that's how you run a blogging business. Okay? That is how you do it. I've given you this blueprint time and time again. And so she's got the cameras installed all up and through the house. Okay. Wind chimes, cameras, panic room. I don't know. All of that stuff. So anyway, Quad is not there for pleasantries. Quad is there to spill the tea. Okay. Quad says the Three Stooges, Dr. Contessa, Toya, and Dr. Simone, were interrogating Anila on the phone, especially Dr. Contessa, who had all the questions, and Dr. Simone was in the background laughing. Okay. And then she tells Anila the consensus was that you staged your burglary. Okay. You staged this. And then Quad goes on to state something that I hadn't even thought of until she said it. And she said, I don't know of an insurance scam where the people would post it online. And I never thought about it being an insurance scam until she said something. I said, well, ain't that interesting? Is that what the people do? I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to dial 1-800-SCAM to find out. Okay. Anyway, also, the streets of Atlanta are saying that Toya is sneaking around. Okay. I wonder if Qua heard this from Zaina and the girls. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter because Anila hasn't even heard from Toya after the robbery or whatever. According to them, okay, Toya probably too busy on the line with 1-800-burglary to take down her next victim. Okay. It's so crazy to me that they would think that because you had an argument with Toya that she then put out a hit on you. Because according to Carrie, because what does Carrie Wells know about a hit? Okay. Please tell me what Carrie Wells, what in the Murder She Wrote are you watching that you know about a burglary hit on the streets of Atlanta? That's what I want to know. What does Carrie Wells know about a burglary hit? Please tell me what does she know? Okay, is she sitting at home? Is in Jessica Fletcher? Okay, Nancy Drew and running through the streets of Atlanta, chasing after the folk to find out that there's a hit placed out on somebody. Can you imagine Carrie Wells just running around the streets of Atlanta, chasing down crime like the Equalizer? Carrie is the Equalizer, y'all, solving crimes wherever she may dwell, okay? Meanwhile, oh God. Oh God. Anyway, Cecil and Simone stopped by Dr. Jackie, okay? Curtis then left her to try to make a charcuterie board. They recapped the party and how the party was a hot mess. And how do we fix this fractured group of ours? Okay. And so Curtis suggests, why don't we take it back to the Blue Ridge where it all began in season 1 after Mariah hit Toya with a pocketbook. Okay. And so they decided they're going to the Blue Ridge. Is it me or is that where the Real Housewives of Atlanta went to? Is everybody going to the Blue Ridge this season or something? Did the Real Housewives of Atlanta go to Blue Ridge Mountains too? Y'all tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. Did the Real Housewives of Atlanta, is that where they went on Marlo's trip where they all left early? Because I'm like, Blue Ridge must be the jam these days, okay? Meanwhile, suddenly Miss Gomez is back, okay? She has risen, all right? I'm trying to figure out what kind of dried up pizza Anila has made, but for whatever, thank God Miss Gomez is back. We don't know how they did it, but somehow they have cajoled her to come back to their home to keep the burglars away. Okay. That's that on that. Dr. Contessa has to go and do her fitness competition, okay? So she gets the spray tan, body looking banging, okay? And you know, she wins an award. So congratulations, Dr. Contessa. Little known fact, I have always wanted to do a fitness competition, but I really like to eat whatever I want, so that ain't gonna happen. Anyway, she reflects on all the dysfunction that she had in her household last year and how they leaned into supporting each other's journeys. And I'm thinking to myself, it sure would have been nice to see all the work that her and Scott had done to get to this point, because we sure didn't see none of it. Okay. Now, listen, first of all, let me say this. I am always happy when a married couple can get it back together, right? They can bring it all home to me. But could we, I don't know, have maybe seen a counseling session or something like that? Because last we know, during the reunion of last season, they was on the outs and they was about to get a separation and she was about to look for a new place. But all this season, we're only given glimpses of a past that was just here last summer. Okay? And I'm thinking to myself, y'all ain't gonna show us none of the work y'all did? We ain't gonna see none of it? We ain't gonna be able to be motivated to go to counseling ourselves to see our marriage through to the next stage of our lives as you guys did? We ain't see none of it all season? Oh, well, okay. If that's what we had, fine. Okay, I'm happy. The end. All right, that storyline is closed. Everybody's packing for the trip, okay? Toya wants Jackie to reinforce to Audra that this group is not about fighting. I found that funny, even though Audra did buck up on Toya, but then forgot to knuck as Toya was bucking, okay? It's funny that, you know what's also, what else is funny in this group? Lord, if this had been the Potomac women, they would have dragged that whole fight down into the ground, baby. In Potomac, in the streets of Potomac, if that had happened, the whole rest of the season would have been about this fight. Oh no, Lord have mercy. Toya done mushed this girl. Oh no, Lord. We got to have an intervention. Oh, Lord, no, the black women, we can't be fighting. Oh, Lord, no, this don't represent who we are. We got a whole show with doctors and doctors' wives on here. Toya mushed that girl and everybody went about their way. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you do it, okay? You mush and keep it pushing, okay? She mushed, and they pushed it right on along. Okay, that's what I want to see. So, ladies of Potomac, I'm gonna need y'all to toughen up a bit. Okay, gather yourselves. Listen, if you can read a girl, you best to be prepared. Okay, if the girl come up and give you a little touch, a love tap or something like that. Now, not that we condone love tapping, okay, but I'm just saying these girls on Married to Medicine got their own businesses and whatnot, and they mushed and kept it on pushing. Okay, a little mush and push. Meanwhile, Shay D says, I was annoyed that Jackie and Simone didn't have the same chat with Audra, Heavenly, Anila, and Contessa like they did Toya. Toya's Twitter post said this yesterday too. It seemed one-sided. You know what? I also felt like I wondered if they were having that talk with Toya because she was there by herself. And I felt like I wonder if they had to talk with her because she had the most issues with the most ladies. I don't really know. All I know is that I like Audra as a new cast member on this show because she brings a fresh energy with her. But I do feel like Toya was in the right. I don't condone any type of hitting or nothing like that. But if somebody invades your personal space, I do believe that you have every right to defend yourself. Facts. Okay. Mush and push. Okay. So, but you are correct. They should have had that conversation with everybody. Point blank, period. Anyway, Karen and Anila are upset about the women thinking that they planned their robbery. Dr. Jackie and Simone and the husbands pray before they head out, and they want to establish some ground rules. They didn't have the conversation with Toya yet. That happens when they get there. But Toya does want Jackie to reinforce to Audra that this group is not about fighting, and she wants to confront Anila. So we learned that Audra and Martin had a 3-day wedding off somewhere else that we did not see and cameras did not follow. Okay. And they had been celibate for the month of December, but now that they are betrothed, they can get it back in. Okay. And they've been getting it in so much so that she's going to have to take a expectation test. Okay. And then Dr. Simone, when they get to the house, Dr. Simone and her girls will be on one level. Dr. Jackie and her girls will be on another level, okay? And they assign rooms so ain't no fighting going on. Okay? No fighting. For the rooms, that is. Okay? Just going through the chats. Okay. Anyway. So Toya and Eugene arrive, and Toya is putting her foot down that Eugene will not be cooking all weekend. So that's when they pull her to the side and tell her they need her to have some respect and let her guard down because they're going to need Dr. Eugene to cook anyway. Okay, because he's going to end up cooking anyway at the stove. And Dr. Jackie reinforces that they are not here to destroy families. Because right now, okay, there are rumors about Quad sleeping with a contractor. There's rumors that Toya is running around after she take her bath, call the burglars, and then that she's running around the streets with some other man from the neighborhood. And how does Zaina and well, first of all, if Zaina and the girls are so busy watching the neighborhood, why wasn't they watching Anila's house? Because they obviously know every move that Toya is making down the corner, down the street. Zaina and the crew need to form the neighborhood watch so they can protect the neighborhood since they know everything that's going on. Okay. I think then we solving some problems, right? Okay. Anyway, Toya has talked to her pastor, okay, because she has time to fit church in after she calls 1-800-burglar. And she takes her naps and she takes her baths and she, fusses at Eugene a little bit, mess around here, mess around there. She does go to church in between all of those activities. Toya is a very busy woman, okay, from the way they make it seem. And so she went to church, and our pastor told her, hey, when you go down there, you need to go with a listening ear and an open heart. And Toya has vowed to do so. Okay. And she gonna leave the burglary phone at home. We had a super chat. Vonnie O says, on another note, Richie, you look good in the 7th Avenue skincare ad. Kudos. Thank you. Thank you so much, Vonnie. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Right. When Toya gets a break from her self-care, that she does all those other things. Okay. So anyway, Eugene starts to get to cooking. Okay. Quad, Dr. Heavenly, Audra, and Dr. Martin arrive. Audra and Dr. Martin have on their champion sweatsuits. Toya's upstairs. Toya feels like Audra swung on her, so she doesn't feel comfortable. And I'm like, Audra didn't really swing on you until after you mushed her, but it was after Audra bucked up on you in your face. So I guess you do have a right to be a little concerned. Okay. Anyway, Dr. Heavenly rolls up to get some food. Audra and her husband roll up and they speak, but Toya and Eugene straight up ignore them. Dr. Heavenly then takes the time to apologize to Toya for the other day because she is going through a lot, and it's no excuse for her acting out because of her, because her mom did pass, so bless her heart for that. She admits that she was wrong, and Toya does show her some compassion, and they discuss trying to move on from the rumors. Okay. Hopefully everybody can move on from the burglars as well. But anyway, maybe ain't no more burglars because Carrie is back in Atlanta on the case. Okay. Carrie the equalizer. Anyway, because that she ain't on this trip. So anyway, Audra and Dr. Martin sage their room. They rubs a fertility doll all up on her tummy, and she goes and takes the expectation test. And yes, she is indeed expecting. Congratulations, Audra. This will be her second and their first child together. They decide to tell their parents before they end up telling the group. Okay. Now, Audra, this means no more bucking up on someone right now. You got to wait until, after the baby to, do any bucking. Hopefully you won't buck on anyone else because you was a little slow to nuck, right? So just keep the bucking to a minimum, I think, in future seasons, and you'll be fine. Or if you are gonna buck, make sure you run immediately after the buck, okay? Because I heard you used to be a track star, so get to running, so nuck and then get to running. Okay, that should be the plan moving forward, Audra. Okay, because we don't want nothing else to to go awry. Okay, because she did give you the good mush. So anyway, Anila and Kieran arrive, and Toya rolls by. She's still mad about being accused of burglaring. And so Anila is unhappy about her room, and she feels unsafe because, oh my God, there's a window here. There's a window for a door. It's glass. I don't know where are the cameras in the room. Oh my, is there a wind chime? She don't feel safe. She don't know if Toya is masterminding something for her while she's here in the underground dwelling of this compound. She does not know what's going to happen. She is scared for her life, okay? So it's dinner time. Jackie jokes about, trying to cook, and Heavenly asks Anila, how she's doing. And, poor thing, she has been going through it, okay? And, Toya turns to her because she's sitting beside her conveniently. And she says, I'm sorry that you was burgled, but, what I want to know is, and then Anila interrupts and says, hold up. But I want to know who here thinks that this was a setup, okay? And Toya's like, girl, I don't know what you would do. I don't even know you. I was like, Natoya, didn't you introduce us to this child right here beside you? This is your doing. You were the one in the neighborhood with her. You was the one hop skipping and jumping and down to the street, down to her house. Okay. You were the one that knew that brought her to this fold. So you are technically still responsible for this young lady. That is my feeling. When you bring somebody into a group, you are responsible for them. Okay. You are responsible. Yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. If you bring somebody new into the circle, you are responsible for them. So Toya, ain't no need to act like you don't know this girl, okay? Because you do. All right. You know her. You know her. All right. Now, hopefully next week we will get down to whether or not Anila staged her burglary indeed or not. Hopefully next week we will find out whether indeed Toya called 1-800 burglary or whether or not Carrie is back in Atlanta trying to catch the burglars, aka Jessica Fletcher, aka the Equalizer.